SU off to the Final Four for the first time in a decade.
And if you predicted that after the end of the regular season SU had, then you're a liar.
It's a little harsh, Caleb. Although, to be fair, I had Syracuse losing in the Sweet 16 in my bracket.
But after a Big East tournament revival, the Orange went on a tear through March Madness, punching their ticket to Atlanta and a matchup with the Wolverines. And in the build-up to the game, all the focus was on SU's 2-3 zone. The Orange had allowed the fewest points of any team in the tournament as it prepared to take on Michigan in a battle of the 4 seeds. Syracuse had already knocked off Indiana, the top team in the Big Ten, on its way to the Final Four. And the Hoosiers featured Victor Oladipo and Cody Zeller, similar in matchup to the Wolverines' Player of the Year Trey Burke and big man Mitch McGary. But could the Orange garner a repeat performance against this duo? Well, we go off to the Georgia Dome, and Syracuse trying to get it started early on. Michael Carter-Williams for C.J. Fair. The mid-range jumper, that's his shot. And then how about getting him dialed in from outside? The big 3-ball, and he drains it. Syracuse up by 5, but here comes Michigan, making it rain from the outside. Chris Levert with 2 threes, and then how about Spike Albrecht? Hits one from the half-court logo, and then, of course, you got Tim Hardaway dialing in it as well. Syracuse down 11 at the break, but in the second half, here comes the comeback. Rakeem Christmas and won the foul on Mitch McGary, but he makes amends. The big slam from him, Michigan up on top. But C.J. Fair keeping Syracuse close, cuts the lead to 4, but back and forth we go. Michigan continues to not allow the Orange to get any closer. McGary, the big offensive board, and then Tim Hardaway makes up for his miss with a huge 3-ball. But Syracuse trying to find it, and how about C.J. Fair again? A team-high 22 points for him. And then James Sutherland scoreless until this point. The huge slam, and then how about getting it dialed in from long range? His only 3-ball of the game, 1 for 5 from beyond the arc. But now, 15 seconds to go after Michael Carter-Williams and Brandon Trish fouled out of the game. It all comes down to Trevor Cooney to run the point. He drives and throws up a brick. Michigan, the rebound, keeps it alive. And then the outlet pass, Jordan Morgan slams it home, and that does it. Syracuse has its season ended a game short of the national championship game. The final score in this one, Michigan 61, Syracuse 56. And Syracuse, the final verdict on this loss, the defense was just fine, but the offense didn't do enough. Tim Hardaway was the Wolverines' leading scorer with just 13 points. But on the SU side, C.J. Fair, although he was his consistent self with those 22 points, the production fell off from there. James Sutherland finished the game just 1 of 5 from 3-point range, and Michael Carter-Williams only 2 points.
On live Cuse Countdown, now time to bring in Rutgers head coach Brian Brecht. Coach, thanks for taking some time to talk to us.
I appreciate you having me.
All right, so let's get right into it. A big matchup for you guys today. Syracuse has been on a roll offensively lately, but you guys have a pretty good player in between the pipes, someone who has been battling with a little bit of injury difficulties lately, but are we going to see Chris Aline in the net today?
Yeah, we've been very excited with what Chris has given us this year, freshman. So he's certainly given us an opportunity to be in every game that we've played so far. And he did suffer an injury that prevented him from finishing the Villanova game last week and not being able to play against Princeton on Tuesday night. But he's been day-to-day in practice, and he's been good the last couple of days. So we're excited to have him back in the cage, today for us.
And what do you try to do defensively against this strong Syracuse attack that features a very good attacking line and 2 solid lines of midfielders that can put the ball in the back of the net?
There's no doubt they're a talented team, and playing in the Dome is an exciting environment, but sometimes can be overwhelming. So, we certainly have to take care of the knowns. Marasco, Schoonamaker of late, has been on fire for them, and, being able to maybe, weather the storm in the first 10, 15 seconds of the possession, with the way they get up and down the field. And I do feel good, like I said, Chris has been great for us in between the cage, in the cage for us this year. And, Quintino and Perilla and Bartleson down low have really been gelling and playing very well of late the last month. So we're certainly excited for the opportunity to play when the whistle 1 o'clock.
Now, Syracuse has been perfect this season. It has struggled vehemently at the face-off X, struggled very badly against Villanova. That was a team that you guys took apart in the face-off X. Is that something that you think is going to be a key for your team to try and get some momentum going on early in this game?
Well, I think the specialties for all teams are the key for success, and we've been very good in the cage. We've been very good at the X with Joe Nardella, so it's a homecoming for him being from Casanova up here. So I'm sure he's going to have a lot of friends and family here to support him, and he's been very good for us this year. So the face-off opportunities on game day are about matchups, and he certainly have been very successful with the matchups he's seen through the season. So if we can control the possessions and he can continue to play the way he has been, and Chris can do a good job in the cage, we feel good about what Matt and Scott Klemchek have been giving us, and some of the older guys that have been coming on strong the last couple of weeks. To hopefully have a one-goal game going into the fourth quarter and allowing our players to make some big-time plays in this atmosphere.
All right, Coach. Thanks very much for your time. That's the word from head coach Brian Brecht. Now let's get on with Cuse Countdown.
So with that overtime win, Syracuse locked up the final bragging rights in its epic Big East rivalry with the Hoyas. And if this were a Hollywood script, the writers would have given SU the Big East tournament trophy right then and there. But real-life drama isn't usually so kind. Heck, even the 1980 Miracle on Ice team had to win one more game after upsetting the Soviets. And so the Orange returned to the court Saturday night to try and end its time in the Big East with a win over Louisville. So Syracuse and Louisville for all the marbles. And remember, this is a rematch of the 2009 title game when Syracuse lost. But early on, Rakeem Christmas banks this one in, and SU off to a good start, up 8-0 early on. But Louisville, well, they're going to see some of this. James Sutherland from distance. He hits it, and that three right there breaks Jerry McNamara's all-time record for most threes made in the Big East tournament. But Louisville would do their best to stay with it. Big dunk there from Montrezl Harrell. But this one was really Syracuse's in the first half. Michael Carter-Williams, how about that finish? And one while falling to the floor. Syracuse goes into the break up by 13. And in the second half, James Sutherland makes it a 16-point lead. But this was a turning point, picked up his fourth foul, and then Louisville starts to come back. Stefan Van Treese with the tip shot, and here comes the Cardinals all of a sudden, down just one. Pass down low, and the slam from Harrell. All of a sudden, the Cardinals have their first lead of the ball game, and Louisville pulling away. Big three from Kevin Ware from the baseline, 56-48 now, and Syracuse just couldn't find a response. Sutherland no good, Trish the jumper no good, and then adding some insult to injury, Michael Carter-Williams drives, rejected. And here comes Louisville to finish it off. Wayne Blackshear, his only points of the game, a dagger, and the Cardinals outscore SU by 30 in the second half for a 78-61 win. So just like in 2009, Louisville beat Syracuse in the Big East Championship after overcoming a halftime deficit. The Cardinals outscored the Cuse 56-26, and Harrell, a big reason why, 20 points for him after he scored 5 points combined in Louisville's first two games of the tourney. For SU, captain consistency C.J. Fair led all players with 21, but the big stats for the Orange, how about 12 for 26 from the free throw line and 19 turnovers? Citrus TV's Chris Lewis has more on how that Cardinals defense changed the game. And 4 days after the Orange's season came to an end, Michael Carter-Williams' SU career came to an end. The highly touted sophomore point guard declared for the NBA draft on Wednesday at a point when his stock really had never been higher. During Syracuse's NCAA tournament run, he had several great performances, including a career-high 24 points in that upset win over the one-seed Indiana. In a press release, Jim Boeheim said, quote, "He's coming off a tremendous season, and we appreciate all he's done for Syracuse basketball. We wish Michael the best of luck as he pursues a pro career." Hey, Ted, did you know that Citrus TV is online?
No.
Oh, well, we are, and you can find us on all those places listed on your screen. My personal favorite, the Citrus TV sports blog.
I'm a fan of Instagram. I get so sick and tired of people putting pictures of food with sepia filters. It's cool to see our reporters going across the country to cover SU sports. Make sure to go on Twitter for up-to-the-minute updates, and don't forget that sports blog, filled with so many goodies we couldn't fit into tonight's show.
Ted, we've recapped a lot of sports on the show this week, and as all the sports on the Hill gear up for the final weeks There's another full load of sports coming your way next week.
Well, that's true. Men's basketball season's all over, but men's and women's lacrosse both in action this weekend.
Time now to take a look at what you should be paying attention to this weekend. And first up, men's lacrosse looks to keep the good times rolling and the momentum going against Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights come into the contest with just a 10-2 record, and that includes a current 9-game losing streak. That game gets underway at 1 o'clock, but don't forget to tune in a half hour early to catch Cuse Countdown live from the Carrier Dome.